Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon here on YouTube, and then I posted up to Facebook of the same name. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have qualified therapists in your area. So also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Whoo, jump back. This has been a hell of a week, kids. So, a lot of people are going through a lot of existential crises. I am going to, hello, India. I am going to talk about bullies, cyberbullies, and stalking today. I do think that is important. Basically, just a few words of comfort for everything that we are going through right now. When the world makes no sense, when stuff goes sideways and we don't understand why, or we don't know how to fix it, it's really good to get involved with organizations that can help fix it. That's a to-do, because we like to do things. The other thing is existentialism. So existentialism is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl did Man's Search for Meaning, okay? And in times of like this, where there's no meaning, you're just like, what the frick is going on? You have to find your own meaning. You have to have meaning in your life. And I think this applies for times of darkness like this is with you know, innocent people being killed by police, and with rioters taking advantage of the truly, you know, needed protests. So, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. There is a reading of it for free on YouTube by Viktor Frankl. So he survived the Holocaust, and he had to find meaning in his life after all of that. It was like, what the, how the, what the, how. So finding meaning is what gives our life purpose. Find meaning. That is the most important thing. And it's just like, you know, Fred Rogers. It's like, when stuff goes sideways, look at all the people doing the good stuff. Look at all the people helping. Look at all the people doing the right thing. Yes, there are people doing the wrong thing, but there are a lot of people doing the right thing. So find meaning. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. It's available. He reads it. It's a 7-hour audio on YouTube. So it's a great one. So if you're struggling to find meaning in all of this dark tea time of the soul, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, really good. Existentialism is really good for when we have lost our way or when we are feeling hopeless. So it's finding meaning. All right, so I just wanted to say that about that. Okay, so I wanted to talk about today bullies, cyberbullies, stalking, etc. So with all of the you know, lockdown and everything like that, we've had a lot of hoovers going on. We've been talking about that. But there's also been a lot of cyber stalking. There's also been a lot of actual stalking going on. This is what I'm hearing from clients. This is what I'm hearing from you guys. So this is why I wanted to touch in on this, because I wanted to make sure that you guys know what to do. So I think there's a lot of misconception as to what is stalking, what isn't stalking, when should I act, when should I not act. Here's the deal. Anytime you have already told somebody, I'm done, I don't want to speak with you, we are finished, please don't contact me, and then they proceed to blow up your phone, send you mail, send you emails, leave stuff on your car, show up at your work, show up where you work out, show up at your grocery store, etc., etc. That's stalking, because you've already told them, I don't want anything to do with you. Please leave me alone. So often what victims of this do, what targets of this do, is they freak out and they're like, oh, well, it's not that bad. We start minimizing. And that's a huge mistake, guys. Huge, huge, potentially fatal mistake. Do not minimize. So when we leave a relationship, okay, and it depends on the type of abuser. There's kind of like different types of abusers. So one type, if they're dark triad, if they are full-blown dark triad, if they are just like full goose bozo, and they are, you know, narcissistic, psychopathic, Machiavellian, meaning control freak, you know, antisocial and narcissistic, they are very much the type to stalk because they can't stand losing. And it's not that they love you. And this is where people get all messed up. I've actually had people go, oh, well, gosh, look how much he or she really loves me because look at all of this, the stalking, that they're doing to get me back. And that's when I have to like refrain myself from banging my head into the nearest wall and go, that's not love. Listen to me now. Believe me later. That's not love. That's stalking. And they're doing it to win. Okay. They can't stand the idea that you figured them out. You saw them for what they were and you said, no more, I'm done. Right. And then you left and then they started doing all of this. And of course, in every single missive, it's the baby, I've changed. I see the error of my ways, yada, yada, yada. It'll be different this time. I'll go to therapy with you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Listen to me now. Don't do it. Because what they'll do is they'll either insist on finding a therapist that doesn't know what they're doing, which is usually the case, or they'll get a therapist that's brand new out of the gate and then manipulate the hell out of them and run the session. That's also what they do. Or they'll take whatever you have said in session and they will use it against you to continue to abuse you. So, okay. So when we have seen the dark triad for what they really are, and we've said, that's it, I'm done. I cannot fix them. I did not break them. I am out of here. Peace out. I don't deserve this. Bye-bye. And then they start stalking our brains because we've been groomed by abusers from our family of origin. Our brains go, oh, but they love us, but they want us, but they, no, this is a game. This is a game. It's a cat and mouse game. They're doing it to win. They're in it to win it. Okay. And they're pissed that you left, which means in their mind, you won. So in order to win, they need to get you back so that they can do the discard. And usually what ends up happening is we go back and it's 20,000 times worse. I posted this question, I think it was this week or last week. Be honest. How many times, have they said, oh, baby, come back? And you did. And it was worse than the last time. And then worse than that last time. And then worse than that last. That's because that's what they do. They've realized, oh, I can push this boundary. Oh, I can go this far. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. They don't love. Guys, get this through your heads. This is the other thing I want to disabuse you of. So I have had several people be like, but I want to save them, which is, say it with me, codependency. Codependency. You cannot save them because you did not break them. You cannot fix them. It would literally take an act of divine, what is it? Shakespeare, Deus ex machina. I think I'm saying it wrong. I'm sure I am. So I'm sure one of you Latin people out there will, tell me when I'm saying it wrong, but it's Latin and it's Deus ex machina. So it's the God machine. So it would literally take a God machine to come down and bonk them over the head to fix them. Okay. There is no there, guys. There is no there. They have to want to get better. They have to want to change and they have to want to stick with it. When you are dealing with somebody who is a narcissist, psychopath, and Machiavellian control freak, there's no there. That's all ego. And they don't have the empathy cog. They literally cannot put themselves into someone else's shoes and go, oh my gosh, what must that feel like? If they could, they would not be gaslighting, manipulating, lying, cheating, stealing, etc. Because a healthy person can go, ooh, if I do that, what's that going to do to them? They don't ever go there. They don't care. They don't have to because they can't. So, okay. So when we leave, okay, their whole goal is to get us back. If they are the Stark Triad, the ones who don't stalk, or who do a different type of stalking, I'm going to get to those in a little bit. It's a little less, they're more avoidant. So remember, narcissists only want to do stuff if they're assured of the win. They only want to do things if they think they can win. That's why they do what they do. So if intimidation and threatening, et cetera, has worked in the past, they'll do that again, thinking that it's going to be successful in this particular arena with this particular person. They're very much creatures of habit. And that's why I keep saying it's like you could literally write a handbook and it would apply to every narcissist everywhere around the world, because they all do the exact same things. They all say the exact same things. They all do the same type of stalking. They all do, for the different types, so it's just, dog face banana patch. Anyway, so the point being is that, okay, you don't want to go back. It's going to be worse. Okay. So stalking is any time they contact you after you have broken up with them, after you have said, we are done. I am not interested. Please go away. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear you. You have gone no contact, right? You've gone no contact. You've let them know, right? And then they start with the blowing up the phone. And in fact, I've got a list here. So this is from the Victim Connect. And it's for crime victims. So what is stalking? Repeated calls to your phone, including hangups. So repeated calls to your phone from different numbers, repeated calls to your phone from unknown numbers, repeated calls to your phone from friends of a friend's of a friend's phone. Yeah, they do that. They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Follows you and shows up wherever you are, the movie theater, the gym, the grocery store, the this, the that. And this is something that I have people say as well. They're like, well, but damn it, I don't want to have to give up my gym. I don't want to have to give up my grocery store. Listen to me now, believe me later. You have got to learn the difference between losing a battle and losing the war. You're fighting to win the war, okay? This is a battle. Let that battle go. It's fine to let that battle go. Move grocery stores. Yes, is it an inconvenience? Fuck yeah. However, you're not always going to have to be looking over your shoulder going, oh my God, is he or she following me? Or are they here? Or am I going to run into them in the parking lot? Same thing with the gym. You don't want to get so, what is the word I'm looking for? So focused on the minutia that you forget the big picture. The big picture is ultimately you want these assholes to go the fuck away and stay the fuck away. Every single time you give them the narcissistic supply of seeing you or you seeing them, oh, they're giddy. They're giddy. They love that. So don't give it to them. Go to a different store. Go to a different gym. Go to a different area, and in some cases, yeah, we do have to move. You're absolutely straight. We do. But if it makes them go away for good, we won. Seriously, in the long run. Is it fair? Fuck no, it's not. But again, you have to think of this as the big scheme of things. Sometimes you got to lose the little battles in order to win the war. Does that make sense? And this war is your safety, your children's safety, your family's safety, your pets' safety, because these people are batshit crazy. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but they'll kill pets. They'll harm cars and property. They'll vandalize. They'll, whatever. Okay. Funny. There's the next one. Damages your home, car, or other property. Sends unwanted gifts, letters, or texts, or emails. Monitors your phone calls and computer use through spyware. So I had someone message or talk on one of the posts about, oh my gosh, I'm still in the family home, but he seems to know everything I'm saying even when I'm not on the phone. Well, hello, your house is bugged. You're probably going to need to have somebody come in and do a sweep for bugs. Seriously. If you had any electronics that were bought and had access to the abuser had access to them, that means cell phones, iPads, computers, etc. You want to get rid of them. You want to get rid of them. I can guarantee you, if your ex is calling you up and harassing you because you had a conversation with somebody and you weren't even on the phone, but they knew about it, and this person that you're talking to is guaranteed not to be talking to them, then yeah, you're being spied on. So yeah, you're going to want to get rid of that stuff. And then I've also heard, well, but it's expensive. Yes, it is, but it's not worth your life. Okay. It's just a thing. You can get another one. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it an inconvenience? Yes. If it means getting rid of this person and them having no more narcissistic supply, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, there is that. Uses technology like hidden cameras, global positioning systems, etc., to track your every whereabouts. If they seem to know where you're going, like if you decide to open up a bank account and they suddenly show up there, that's a good guess that they've got a tracking device on your car. What you can do is you can take it to AAA and you can ask them to look it over for GPS devices on the bottom of the car, because that's what they do. They stick it up underneath the bottom where you're out of the way, where you're not going to notice it. So take it to AAA or take it to any mechanic, have them do a once over of your car. Make sure there are no devices, tracking devices on the car anywhere like that. Yes, they do that because of, domestic violence. Okay, so there's that. Drives by or lingers by your home, your school, or your work. This is a favorite one. And here's where it gets really dicey. I also had one write in and say, oh my God, the problem of it is my ex is in the police force and they're having their buddies do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is when you have to have a really good attorney and you have to go public. You absolutely do. And you get the media involved, because honestly, the more eyes there are on this, the better. Because if they're doing this, and eyes are on it, it's going to be harder for them to do something hinky. Now, if there are children involved, that's going to make it dicey. But if it's just you involved, get the fuck out. Move the fuck away. Don't stay in an area where you're outnumbered. Okay, I'm sorry, but if they're on the police force and they've got the entire town's police force harassing you, and it's a small town and there's no help, get the fuck out. Seriously. So, and get a good attorney and document the crap out of everything. That's the other question I got, is how do I document? Sorry, my brain just left. Hold on. I wanted to mention quickly, because I forgot to say this in the beginning. SusannaQuintana.com. She has been there. She has done that. She has been stalked. She knows what it is to deal with one of these cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stalkers. Okay. So if you are being stalked, if you are having problems, she is your girl and she can talk to you across state lines. So SusannaQuintana.com. She is a narcissistic escape artist. She did it herself with her kids. And she also was stalked. So SusannaQuintana.com. I just wanted to mention that because I can only counsel people here in Arizona. Okay, so they threaten to hurt you, your family, or your friends, or your pets. This is why it's important also that when you are leaving, you inform your HR. Abso-freaking-lutely. You let your neighbors know. You let as many people know as possible that you are leaving and this person is a threat. Okay. They perform other actions that control, track, or frighten you. They use other people, flying monkeys, to try to communicate with you, like children, family, or friends. They do that. So this is why, listen to me now, believe me later. When you leave an abuser, you want to go through your Facebook. You want to make sure it is private. Okay, you go to the little icon, I think it's the question mark, and it'll have little prompts for like, okay, how do I check this? How do I check that? You want to check privacy. You want to go through and you want to make sure that it's either friends only or just you. So, if you want other people to see your post, you've got to be like, friends only or friends of friends. You don't want that. You don't want friends of friends. You want friends only. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go through your friends list and you're going to cull out anybody who is a flying monkey or a potential flying monkey. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either block them, delete them, whatever. Or if you're kind of afraid of causing, problems, like they'll come back and blah, 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 blah. The other thing you can do is you can do everyone except, and then you put a list of the people that you don't want to see your posts. So your new posts go out to everyone except. So you can do that as well. But as you realize who the flying monkeys are, block them, ban them, defriend them, get them off of your friends list. This is not a popularity contest. This is fucking survival. Okay, so get them off of your list. You only want people to be able to see your social media who are actually supportive and actual friends. Okay, hold on. And I want to talk more about that in just a moment. Okay, so you alert others. I've already talked about that. You tell trusted friends, families, coworkers, HR department, ask people to look out for any suspicious activities. You connect with a domestic violence advocate. They are in every state. You find a domestic violence advocate. Okay, how are we doing on time? Oh, good. I've got some time. So that's really important. You need to document everything. And it's really, really important. And this is going to come into play when you get your order of protection. You need to document that you've told them, we're done. I don't want anything more to do with you. Please stop calling me. Please stop texting me. And here's the other thing. Never, ever, ever speak to them on the phone. Never. You don't have a record of it. You want everything to go through email or through text, okay? Because you want a written document of it. So, and you're going to take screenshots of anything they send you. So like if you get these crazy hang up phone calls, and you're going to save every voicemail. Super important. Save every voicemail on your computer. There's a way to do it. I'm not technical. I'm sure somebody out there is technical. But what you're going to do is you're going to save the voicemail so that you can play it for the court if you need to. So all of the voicemails, everything, even if it's not threatening, even if they're just like, oh, baby, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm thinking about you and blah, 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 blah. You've already told this Yahoo to leave you the hell alone. What the hell are they doing calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning? Ain't nobody need to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning except ghosts. So there, So, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, so you document everything. You document. You save all the voicemails. You take screenshots of all the texts. You take screenshots of or print up all of the emails. You take the threats seriously. Honestly, don't not take threats seriously. That was a double negative. What the hell? Take them seriously is what I'm trying to say, because you don't know what they're capable of. And this is the biggest mistake that targets of abuse do. They go, but I know them, but I love them. They wouldn't do that to me. Yes, they would. Yes, they fucking would. If killing you means they win, they'll do it. I can't stress this enough. This is how targets of domestic violence, male and female, end up dead, because their abuser wants them dead. If they can't have them, they want them dead. If they can't control them, they want them dead. Or they want them in such a state of panic that all they are doing 24/7 is just thinking about them all the time in their head, which is a form of death when you think about it, because you're not living your life. You're constantly looking over your shoulder going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, where are they, where are they, where are they? So you don't want that. So take all threats seriously. You create a safety plan. You prepare your kids. If there are kids involved, if there are animals involved, you make sure they are safe. You don't ever assume, never assume that the abuser is going to act in a rational, normal human being way, because they're not going to. If they've already started stalking you, yeah, it's a good bet they're just going to keep going. So make sure your pets are safe. Make sure your kids are safe. Make sure you have a safety plan developed. There is plenty of places that you can go to. So HTTPS / victimconnect.org / safety / physical -safety. So you could just look up safety plans, domestic violence safety plans. That would be a hell of a lot easier. What the fuck? Anyway, so you prepare your kids, teach your kids what to do if there's an emergency, like where to hide, if there's a danger in the house, how to call police, how to call 911, how to call a trusted person for help. And okay, document every incident. Make a log of encounters with the stalker, hang up calls, public sightings. They're going to tell you, oh, it was, it's a small town. We just happened to run into each other. Well, if you move from shopping at Fry's to then driving 3 miles out of your way to shop at, say, oh, I don't know, what's another grocery store? Brain gone. Vaughn's or whatever. I don't even think we have Vaughn's here. But the point being, you're shopping at one, you go 3 miles out of your way to shop at another. There's nowhere near where the ex is living. And they suddenly show up there. That is not, I do not believe in coincidence. Nope. Do not believe in coincidence. Okay. You write down an incident log, and you do the date, the time, who was around, where you were at, etc. Okay. Okay. So, this is going to be important. When you have got all of this together, you are going to then file a restraining order against them. Now, let me just drop those on the floor. Here's what I hear from a lot of people. They're like, no, I don't want to get them in trouble. I'm sorry, what? They are doing something criminal. Hate to break it to you. It's called harassment. That's illegal. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself out of that codependent thing of I need to protect them. And this is what we were groomed with. So when we have the original wound, and we had parents that we were always protecting, or, siblings or whatever, and we get into that mode of, no, 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 I need to protect them. No, 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 they can't face their own consequences. No, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's really dangerous for us, guys, because we're minimizing at that point, and we are being codependent at that point. They must suffer the natural consequences, that too, of their actions, okay? And a lot of times they will stop. Why? Because they're cowards. And once they realize the legal system is looking at them, they'll stop. Now, not all do. I got to be perfectly honest. There are a few truly, truly malevolent, psychopathic stalkers out there that will not stop, even after multiple orders of protection, 5-year order of protections, 10-year lifetime order of protections, and they just continue breaking it. So here's the deal. When you get your order of protection, you're going to go to the court, okay? So at least here in Arizona, you go to your local court, you say, hey, I need to fill out an order of protection. You fill out the order of protection. It's going to ask you for their address, their name, if you have their phone number, their physical description, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you list all of the things that they've done to harass you. And then you submit that to the court, and they have you go upstairs or wherever the court is and wait for the judge. And then the judge comes out and reads it through and either grants it right out or says, tell me more. I need to know a little bit more before I decide to grant this or not, that type of thing. And then 9 times out of 10, they'll grant it, and then you have to have it served. And what I've seen abusers do is they will avoid the server. So they'll say that they're living at their mother's house when in fact they've got an apartment, somewhere else, and they're trying to avoid the server and they're playing these games. You just got to keep trying to get them served. And yeah, it's crazy. They're crazy. They're cray-cray. They are the big cray-cray. I cannot emphasize that enough. They are the big cray-cray. So once they have been served, if they violate, or at least in Arizona, if any of their friends do anything on their behalf, which is harassment, they go to jail. And so do the friends. So that is what you do. You have to contact every single time they violate an order of protection. You have to. If you don't, nothing happens. And like I said, in some cases, they're happy to go to jail multiple times because to them, it's a game and they're just loving it. And so for them, it's just, well, I'll wait until the order of protection is up and then I'll violate it. Or even sometimes they don't even wait. Sometimes they just go ahead and violate it. This is why it's really important to carry pepper spray or learn how to conceal carry and carry a gun, which is what I do. I do both, and yeah, so there is that. Cyberbullying. I want to touch on cyberbullying as we are running out of time here. So what an abuser will do is they will mob a person. And this is very, very common on social media platforms, apparently. This is a thing where they lie about someone, they smear, they do their smear campaign, and then they go full bore, and then they start gathering people that don't even know you to attack you, right? So let's say you do something online, you're an artist, you're a poet, you're a singer, you're, something, and you need an online platform to do your stuff. That's what they'll do, is they'll try to ruin you financially. And that is, say it with me, harassment. So basically, again, you block these people, you get rid of them, and you basically send them a cease and desist letter. Either shit or get off the pot. Either produce evidence or shut up, basically, because now we're into the realm of slander and libel. So if you're going to continue doing that, guess what? I'm going to be suing you for harassment, and it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. So don't fuck with me. Do you see where I'm going with that? You have to do that. You cannot be afraid. And this is what abusers are counting on. They are counting on fear. They are counting on your silence. They are counting on you trying to defend yourself. This is the biggest mistake I see people do. They get into one of these pissing matches with a skunk. Yeah, I just said that. Never get into a pissing match with a skunk. They're skunks. What they do is they try to get you to defend yourself. They try to get you to come back and be like, but I didn't do that. No, I'm innocent. And all they'll do is go, oh, well, you're lying. Well, you're this. Well, you're that. Da-da-da-da-da. What you do is you cut them off at the knees. You do not respond. You block them. You report them to whatever social media platform they're using. And you contact a lawyer and you send a cease and desist letter. And if they continue doing it, you sue the fucking shit out of them. Period. So there is that. So cyberbullying is real. Oftentimes on a smaller scale, what they'll do is they'll get family members, they'll get their own family, they'll try to recruit your family members to act on their behalf. You cut them off, you block them. And I know this is tough, guys. This is not, done lightly, okay? But if you want to have a peaceful life, you have to get those people out that are wanting to create chaos. You have to get rid of them. Because to them, this is a drama. This is a Greek drama for them. This is like the greatest thing since, I don't know, sliced bread, because you're entertainment for them. So what you do is you cut them off. It's like, nope, I'm not your entertainment, motherfucker. Sorry. You just go find something else. And you block them. You block them, you block them, you block them. You block every single number they call from. You don't answer, don't answer, don't answer, don't answer. You let it go to voicemail. You copy that voicemail. You use that as your evidence. And then you sue the shit out of them for harassment. You betcha. So, okay, I hope that answered the questions. Again, I just wanted to say, if you are having problems, you are being stalked, you are outside the state of Arizona, SusannaQuintana.com. She's your girl. She has been there. She has done that, and she won. And she's awesome. And I love her. And God, I miss her. I haven't seen her in like 3 months now. This sucks. Anyway, so as soon as it's safe, I'm going to have everybody back on the show, because it's like I miss everybody. I miss Leslie Rowan, and I miss Susanna, and I miss Sarah, and I miss Rick, and I miss meh. Anyway. There's that. So, okay, let's hit the questions, because I see we have a lot of questions. Where the heck is my cursor? Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, I hope that answered the questions. If you have other questions that I didn't quite hit on, please feel free to IM me over on Facebook on We Need to Talk, same name, and I'll try to get you an answer for that. Remember, guys, I'm not an attorney. Okay, I'm a counselor, so don't know a lot about laws outside of Arizona. Is it normal for the children of the abuser to attempt to redeem their existence through fame or grandiose success? Let me read that again. Is it normal for the children of the abuser to attempt to redeem their existence through fame, or grandiose success? It can be, if they haven't done the work. So in other words, and this is kind of where I was thinking with the online bullying, cyberbullying kind of thing. If somebody is getting their existence from online notoriety or online fame or whatever, and they're not a real person offline, then yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem, because that's a house of cards. That's other esteem. That is not self-esteem. So you have to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to work the self-esteem workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. Abso-fucking-lutely. You have to work The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. Codependent No More, Beyond Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie. You have to do CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. You got to do the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Yes, I do think that some of them do that to feel like they exist. So if other people love them, so again, it's a case of other esteem. So here's the original wound. Here's fame, fortune, whatever over here. Oh my God, if I can make all of these people out here love me, I prove these fuckers wrong. It doesn't work like that, because then you're constantly falling on the sword of, do they love me? Do they love me? Do they like, yeah, no, no, either you do or you don't. If you don't watch, it's simple as that. So there that is. But yeah, I do think that some people do, but that is a very tenuous and dangerous thing to do, because it is mercurial. It's not everybody's going to love you all the time. It's just not going to happen. You need to know who you are, and you need to be secure in who you are, and then go out and do whatever you're doing. And if people like you, great. And if people don't like you, great. It doesn't really matter. It's what you think. So there it is. But yeah, that's other esteem. That is other esteem. When I see my ex in public, she is cold and ignores me. I want it to get better. Should I try to avoid her as well, or be friendly and say, hey, and keep moving? Not quite sure why you want it to get better. So that would be a question. So again, not everybody's going to like you. You guys are exes. Doesn't matter. Keep moving. I wouldn't say anything. I would just go back, civil but distant, live your life. And if that doesn't answer your question, I am me. Okay, my ex set up an Instagram account. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to tell you. They will make multiple accounts, like hundreds of different fake accounts on Facebook, Instagram, InstaChat. No, that's not what it is. What is that thing where it goes? Snapchat, that type of thing. They'll make all sorts of Twitter, they'll make all sorts of fake accounts, and then they'll try to mob you. So basically, again, what you do is you block them and you report them to the platform that they are using. Sorry, I just thought of that. That's what they do. They're crazy. They're crazy. Anyone who does that is certifiably batshit crazy. Seriously, who's got the time? Not anybody with an actual life, I'll tell you that much. Okay. My ex set up an Instagram account, and before I could block him, he liked a picture of the sea I put up. Now I'm worried he will show up there as I walk there. Do I have to change my route? I would for a little while. I would. Yeah, I would be unpredictable. I really, really would. When I found out I had a stalker, I changed all my routines. I did. Was it a pain in the ass? A little bit. Not really. So yeah, it's like you just change your routines and, don't worry about it. If they show up, then you leave. And, if they continue to, stalk you, then you file an order of protection, and then they won't be able to show up where you are. So when I had to do an order of protection, I got all my evidence together. I walked into the court. I handed it to the court. They didn't even ask me to explain, probably because I'm a therapist. So, and I had so much evidence. And so, basically they were like, okay, here it is. And, you call on them if they harass you, if their family harasses you, if their friends harass you, you call the police, you da-da-da-da-da. So, you get an order of protection. And in the order of protection, it basically said they can't go anywhere near me, anywhere in the United States. And I'm like, sweet. So do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, absolutely. So, and every state is different. And Arizona, unfortunately, only has a year-long one. So it's like every year you have to renew it. So just be aware of that. If you're coming up on the date, you may want to go back in and renew it, especially if they violated it, especially if they've made noises about contacting you once the year is up, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. How do you identify flying monkeys? Okay. Flying monkeys are family, friends, coworkers, etc., that side with the abuser. Those are flying monkeys. So it comes from Wizard of Oz, and her little flying monkeys that do her bidding, right? So it's the same thing. It's anyone who does the bidding of the narcissist is a flying monkey. They are either ignorant of what abuse is, unlikely, or they are a minor narcissist themselves and they wish to be associated with somebody they perceive as powerful. They're not. They think they are. They're not. So a flying monkey is anyone who does anything on the behest of the abuser. So anyone who sides with the abuser, anyone who comes to you and goes, well, now, and somebody mentioned this. Oh my God. They said they went to a therapist and the therapist told them to be nicer to their abuser. Hail to the no. That is a flying monkey. Fire that bitch or that guy, whatever. I don't care. If they are telling you to be nicer to your abuser, be done. That is no. So that's a flying monkey. That right there, that's a flying monkey. Somebody who's siding with the abuser and telling you it's your problem, you need to be nicer. Fuck that shit. Nope, that is a flying monkey. Or if somebody comes and says, oh, well, so-and-so really misses you, relaying a message, right? Trying to make you feel guilty, trying to make you feel fearful, trying to make you feel obligated. Fear, obligation, guilt. That is, say it with me, the fog. The fog. That's what they want to put us in, and that's what they want us to be in so that we go back to them. Nope, don't do it. So anybody who relays a message to you where you feel fear, obligated, or guilt, you warn them first, and you say, okay, you know what? I am not interested in hearing from so-and-so ever again. Please do not relay messages. And if you do, again, you and I will not be friends. Or if you're figuring out that your information is getting back to your ex. So say, for example, you have a friend and you're kind of iffy on them. You're like, ooh, they might be kind of aligned with the ex. I'm not sure. And you're at a gathering, a party, whatever. And you say something and it gets back to the ex. Well, that's a pretty good idea of who it is. So that's when you be done. You either warn them first or you just get rid of them. That's what I'm saying. Go through your friend list and get rid of people you do not trust. If they're trustworthy, trust me, they'll come back. If they're not, they won't. And more than likely what'll happen is you get rid of them. And if they're really flying monkeys, the abuser will get pissed because now their highway line to you is cut off. And they'll be like, well, you tell her to put you back on and da-da-da-da. Well, you took me off. And why did you take me off? Because it's my goddamn account, bitch. I'm taking you off. Goodbye. That's the only answer you fucking need. You don't explain yourself. Period. So yeah, a flying monkey is one that will, side with the abuser. I hope that answered the question. Which is more important, blocking phone calls and texts and remaining no contacts, or unblocking in order to document to prove that they are continuing to abuse you? Block, 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 block. Here's the reason why. If you just right out the gate, block them on everything, like seriously, like hardcore, block them on everything. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, I don't even know what else is out there. Email, texting, phone numbers, etc. And then they go around all that and start contacting you. Oh, your case is going to look so much better. Do you see where I'm going with that? So right out the gate, you're done with them. You've gone no contact. You've decided you're done. You block them. LinkedIn, thank you. LinkedIn, all of them. Block, 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 block. Be done. Be done. And then if they try to get around it and create fake personas or whatever, and then fake numbers or calling you from unknown numbers or friend of a friend's number or whatever, and just don't answer numbers you don't recognize, guys. That's what I do. I do not answer unrecognizable numbers. I just don't. It goes straight to voicemail. So, okay. All right. And that's better because then it's going to look, the judge is going to take one look at that and go, really? Yeah. So, okay. Okay. Question, 14 years out. Covert narc, kids involved. Oh, I'm so sorry. 5 years ago, he liked my Insta post. I want to feel free and post publicly, but I don't even want him to see anything I post. Tips on how to rationalize this. I like making everything, private. I do, just because that's just me. If you want to post publicly, you have to realize there is the possibility that they will see it and it will initiate contact from them again. So I wouldn't, especially if there's kids involved and you've been out for 14 years. I would stay no contact. I would, wait until all the kids are 18. And then, when there's nothing that could possibly be harmed by that, then yeah, you can start posting again. That sucks. It does. Or conversely, you go ahead and you post, but just realize that this may cause, contact again, or he may try to, or she may try to contact again. So just be aware. Just be aware. You're going to have to do a pro and a con list. If it was me, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. It's just like, no, thank you. But, if this is something that is vital to you, then yeah, maybe you should, but just realize there's consequences. They may decide to start contacting you and you may need to end up, going no contact again and then going back to private. So pro and a con list. Do a pro and a con list. That's the best way to do that. Does the disease tick please address the hardcore fawn response? It does. It does, because it's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So we either fight, we fight back with them. We freeze, hope that they go past. We flight, we, flee. We fawn, we give in, hoping that they won't harm us. And that's why it's so bewildering and frustrating to watch people give in to an abuser, because you're like, they're an abuser. They're an abuser. Why are you giving in to them? Well, it's the fawn. It's the fawn. It's fawning. It's hoping that you won't get killed if you fawn to the abuser, but it doesn't ever really work. It works temporarily, but it doesn't work long term. So yeah, and the other one to read up on that, there's a whole bunch. PM Melody did a great book. Oh, brain has left the building. PM Melody. Shit. Can't think of the name of it, but there's a whole bunch of books out there. Just look up books for hardcore fawning. It's like flight, fight, freeze, or fawn. I fawn. What can I get? And go for that if you want to focus in on that particular response. But yeah, I think it would be good for that as well. Okay, the money control thing. When you don't have the right money or education to get away and get a good job, what do you do then? Okay, that's a good question. So what controllers, what abusers like to do, because, psychopath, narcissistic, control freak, they will make it so that you don't have a job, so that you don't have the education to get a good job, so that you don't are not working right now, or you're working and all of your money is going to them. You have to find a way to bring in income that they won't be able to find. So that means, for example, when working with specifically, yes, I'm working with the Pacific Ocean. Oh my God. Specifically, when I'm working with, income situations where there's no money and they're trapped at home and they're raising children and things like that, I go, okay, great. What can you sell? What can you sell on Facebook? What can you sell online? Okay, the kids are all out of diapers. You got cloth diapers. Get money for that. Now, you're going to open up a bank account that they don't know about. You're going to take that money. You're going to put it into the bank account. And that's what you start doing. You start shoving whatever little money you can into that little bank account. So if they give you money for groceries, right, to go grocery shopping, great. Put it in your bank account. Go to the food bank. That's one of the best ways to do it, is that, okay, they're giving you this X amount of money, go to the food bank, get your food from the food bank, put that money in your account so that you can save up enough money to get the hell out. Is it going to take a long time? Fuck yeah. If you can get a job, and it doesn't matter what kind of job, get a job. See if you can start squirreling away money from that, no matter what the job is. Now, granted, they're going to want to know how much you're making, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sorry, at that point, if you're needing to get out, feel free to lie. And take that extra money and put it into your account so that you can get an attorney, or you can get an apartment, or you can leave state, whatever you need to do. So yeah, it is very difficult. And victims advocates, you need to get your victims advocacy going. You need somebody that's going to help you, to get you to the resources that you can use. So for example, in Arizona, we have Fresh Start Women's Resource Center, and they have all sorts of, they have legal advisors, they have job advisors, they have how to redo your resume, they have all sorts of stuff to help with that. There's also Catholic Charities. My sister's house, that's a shelter. And the Pathway program, I believe, is the domestic violence one here in Arizona. So there is that. So there's things you can do. It is difficult. It is difficult. Absolutely. Okay, and you start planning your escape. You start planning your escape. You really seriously, you start planning your escape. Where are you going to go? Who can you go to? Who can you trust? Where can you go? What do you need? What advocacy can you get, etc. Okay, how does a narcopath feel if they cannot contact ex-partner because of the protective order? They're pissed. Oh, they're pissed. Oh, trust me, they're pissed. So hang on a second. So they're dangerous. They may escalate. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of them escalate, and I think I've talked about this. Some of them will escalate and will violate the order of protection anyway. Others will realize they can't because they're going to get in trouble, and then they don't violate it, but they wait until the end of the order, or they try to get you through other people or whatever. So yeah, they're pissed because it's all about power and control and fear. And that's why you cannot allow these assholes to run you with fear, obligation, guilt, etc. So, and that's what they're trying to do. So yeah, they're pissed. And are they dangerous? Yes, absolutely. They are dangerous. You must be on guard. You must have hypervigilance. There's an upside, unfortunately, to having hypervigilance, in that you're, hypervigilant and you're watching out for yourself. So, yeah, they could become violent. They absolutely could. They could become more blatant in their violation of the order of protection. So that's why I'm saying an order of protection, I've said this before, an order of protection is simply a piece of paper. What makes it work is when we call every single time somebody violates it. That's what makes it work. Because eventually, I had one case where the abuser, oh my Lord, every year for 5 years, a new order of protection, a new order of protection, new order of protection, violate. Finally, he went to jail. It took a long time, but finally he went to jail, and finally he stopped when he realized, oh, there's actual consequences to my actions. Don't get me started. Anyway, so yeah, there is the possibility that they will escalate. I like the Ring, the Ring doorbell, because it, has video of everything. And, I have one on my driveway, 2 in my backyard, 1 on the side. It's great, because then you have evidence. Oh, look, they're trespassing. They're on my property and I've got it on video, and it's not that expensive. So that's a good, if you're living by yourself, I really recommend something like the Ring, that type of thing. That would be really good. So yeah, they can become violent. They can become, up the ante kind of thing, because they're not getting their supply. They're not winning, and they want to win at all costs. And what they don't understand is that the cost is going to be their freedom. And in some cases, like I said, okay, well, that wasn't a domestic violence case though. They'll get to the point where they want the person dead because they can't control them, so. Oh, what was that one up in Colorado? That domestic violence kind of thing, or the crazy one here who drove and killed the guy, and did handstands in the police sink thing. Oh, good Lord, crazies. So yeah, because it's all about power and it's all about control. And if they can't control the person, they want them dead. So yes, that is always a possibility, which is why you must let everyone around you know, I've got an order of protection. Watch out for this person. This is what they look like. You tell your HR department, you let your security people know, you let your coworkers know, et cetera. And because again, they're cockroaches. Once the light is shined on them, they tend to scatter. So there is that. And the flip side of that is once they realize they can't get away with it, like there's consequences, or that you're just going to keep doing what you're doing and you're not going to stop living because of these fuckers, they stop, because they're not getting their jollies. They're not getting their narcissistic supply, and there's the threat of jail. So, either they keep going and they explode, or they stop. And a lot of them stop, which is nice. So there is that. Can a person be a narcissist and a decent person? No. No. So, okay. So you're, all right. Like on the nice end of the spectrum. So, all right, here's the deal. Narcissists do not have empathy. Okay. Psychopaths do not have empathy. So everything is on a spectrum. Yes. So at the lower end of the spectrum, oh my goodness, let me pull out my DSM-5. Hang on. And now I've got to, oh Lord, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Good God Almighty. Here we go. Ah! All right. Where'd it go? Personality disorder. Narcissistic. 669. Okay. Hang on. Sorry. 6. There it is. All right. Okay. So narcissistic personality disorder. Now, a full-blown malignant narcissist is at the far end of the spectrum. They will have all 9, okay? To be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, you only need 5 traits of, or 1 or 2, okay? After that, it's moving into full-blown. Okay, so a pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, a need for admiration and lack of empathy beginning in early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts is indicated by 5 or more of the following. Also, I wanted to make sure you understood. Teenagers are very self-centered. That does not make them narcissists, okay? So, and I talked about last week that alcoholism mimics narcissism. So you got to figure out, is it the alcohol talking, or is it the narcissism talking, or is it both? All right, so here are the 5. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates achievements and talents, and expects to be recognized as superior without commiserate achievements. 2, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. The skin has to be perfect. The hair has to be perfect. The clothes have to be perfect. The day has to be perfect. The date has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. It's unrealistic. Number 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or associate with other high status people or institutions, because that other esteem, they're getting other esteem. 4, requires excessive admiration. You have to tell them every 5 seconds that they're fabulous or they fall apart. Has a sense of entitlement. This is number 5. Has a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. So if they say, Jump, they want you to ask how high. Or they show up to a restaurant an hour and a half after the reservation and expect to get that prime table by the window or whatever, and be seated immediately on a Friday night, without COVID. I don't know. But that type of thing. All right. So that's number 5. Number 6 is interpersonally exploitive, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her ends. 7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. If you are empathetic, you are probably not a narcissist. So if there's empathy there, then okay, and they're having a few, 1 or 2 maybe of the other issues, then yeah, maybe. But if there's no empathy, be done. 8, is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. 9, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. So yeah, if they are truly narcissistic, if they truly have no empathy, no, there's no way. Nope. Okay. How to deal with coworkers trying to just watch me and make trouble. I did a whole thing on that about 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Maybe 3 years ago. So Bullies in the Workplace. That's the name of the video that I did. I think I did 3 of them. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can document. You can go to your HR, but remember, HR is there to protect the business. They are not there to help you. That is not their job. They want to keep from getting sued. So if it is an environment which is hostile, you could file an EEOC complaint. So you could check that out. It's eeoc.gov. Or you could start looking for a new job. And again, you have to figure out, what is it worth? Is it worth it? Are you going to work throwing up every day? Are you coming home and upset and not able to sleep? Is your personal life hell because of this? If that is the case, maybe it's time to get the hell out. So, and remember, the corporate environment, shit rolls downhill. So if the corporate uppers are narcissistic, guess what's going to be happening? There's going to be a lot of narcissists in the corporation. So you really want to make sure that you align yourself with a job that has got people that are not narcissists. And the thing that I see happening in a lot of corporations, and we've talked about this before, is that they promote problems away. Meaning, if somebody's a problem and they're a narcissist and they're causing problems, they get promoted so that they get out of that particular group and that little group is fine. That is the wrong fucking way to do it. But a lot of corporations do that. So if that is the case, you may want to find a different job. So, and again, it's going to be up to you. So it's like, is HR going to help? I don't know. Is the EEOC thing going to help? I don't know. Is it worth it? Can you stay there, or is this just causing you a lot of heartache? If it's causing you more heartache than it's worth, find a new job. So nothing is worth that. Nothing, no amount of money is worth that. Is it normal for abuse survivors? Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time. Is it normal for abuse survivors to be mentally behind their peers? Yes, yes. Absolutely. So when we are raised in an abusive relationship or an abusive family, okay, hang on. When we're raised in an abusive family, we do tend to be a lot less mature, because think about it. How old is a narcissist really? 2, maybe, on a good day? The wind's blowing in the right direction. So they're very, very, very immature, very immature. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? Tit for tat. Very, like a 3-year-old, if a 3-year-old gets hurt by a toy, they'll slam the toy because they're mad at the toy instead of going, it's a toy, So we are raised by immature, abusive parents, right? So we tend to be very immature ourselves. And that is common in survivors of abuse. It's like we don't quite catch up at the same rate or at the same path, that our peers are, kind of thing. Okay, so I find myself dating people far younger than me because we are on the same wavelength. Yeah, that can be very true. So it is a common thing that happens with survivors of abuse, I always found that I liked playing with younger kids a lot more than hanging out with my peers, because that's kind of where I was, like 2 or 3 years younger. So, and that probably went on up through high school, I would say. And then I started, working on myself and reading and self-help books and things like that and talking to my sister and, getting that all sorted out. But yeah, it's a very common thing. It is a very common thing. And we tend to do that because we're not as emotionally mature because we haven't had an emotional mature parent for a role model. Go figure. Okay. Hope that answered the question. About diagnosed CPTSD, complex trauma, relational trauma. How do we really know that our therapist knows what they are doing? So you want to ask, you got to educate yourself. You got to educate yourself. So that's what I'm saying. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. There's a bunch of really good PTSD workbooks out there. You got to ask questions. You got to be like, okay, well, what's your experience working with trauma? Have you had personal trauma? Have you, and that's a valid question to ask. I have people ask me all the time. It's like, well, okay, you're dealing with abuse. Have you had abuse? I'm like, did you read the book? So, which, by the way, shameless plug. What's Wrong with Your Dad, available on Amazon. It's also available on Audible. Also, my other book, You Can Lead a Horse to Water, but You Can't Make him cha-cha, which is why some people stay in abuse and others don't. So yeah, you want to ask them, what's your experience with this? Is this your main practice? Is this, or are you like a general practitioner? What are you doing? That kind of thing. So I did several videos on what to ask your therapist to make sure that they know what they're doing, which is a really good idea to do. Okay, I think we are at the end. It is 1:00. Yes. So before we leave, I just wanted to, again, shameless plug for Shahida Arabi. I love her. Healing the Adult Children of Narcissists, great book. I know she has another book coming out. I have not talked to her. I really need to. This is a great book if you're divorcing. It's called Splitting, and it's by Randy Krieger, and it's by Bill Eddy. So it's kind of what to expect when you're leaving somebody that's personality disordered, because they're going to pull every nasty, dirty trick in the book. So this is a great book. Also, Susanna Quintana, You Are Still That Girl. So she's your girl. She has survived stalking. She has survived abuse. She is your person to help you through a divorce if you're outside the state of Arizona, because she can do phone calls and she can do Skype and things like that. All right. I think that is it for today. I had a topic in mind for next week, and I cannot remember now what it was. Yeah, I really should write these things down. So anyway, I'll figure it out and I'll let you guys know. I will also be answering whatever questions I did not get to in the middle of this week. So I'll do another video in the middle of the week. Can't think of anything else. All right, you guys, be good to each other. Stay safe. Please continue to wash hands, wear masks, etc. There's still COVID out there, even though we're dealing with other bigger, nastier, scarier things. So yeah, be good to each other. And yeah, and stand up for what's right. That's what's important. That means personally, that means professionally, that means ecumenically. So there it is. All right. Love you guys. Be good. Talk to you later. Bye.